Me entire. Wonderful.
Daddy, look!
Oh, hi, son.
My arm's bleeding and it just won't stop.
Well, son, let's have a chat about hemophilia, an autosomal recessive disorder that your mother and I passed on to you. You, Billy, have an X and a Y chromosome. The gene for hemophilia is on the X chromosome, which means if your mother is a carrier of hemophilia, you have a 1 in 4 chance of having hemophilia. This affects mostly boys, 1 in 5,000.
Oh, right. I have hemophilia. What kind do I have again?
Oh, Billy, you have hemophilia type A, an insufficiency or defective clotting factor 8, which is an antohemophilic factor.
Are there any other types, Dad?
Ah, yeah, of course there are, son. There are many different types. There are 12-fold clotting factors. Because of this, there's a lot that can go wrong, especially in the clotting cascade. But type A is the most common, so I guess it's nice to know that you're in the majority.
I guess so.
Yeah, the second most frequent, however, is hemophilia B, which has a defect in clotting factor number 9.
What about that funny one, Vonwillebrand?
Oh, Vonwillebrand.
Oh.
That's a disease. It's another bleeding disorder, but it isn't hemophilia. But like your type, it also affects clotting factor number 8.
Oh, I heard vitamin K plays a big role in all this blood clotting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That the liver needs vitamin K to make the blood clotting factors, and if we don't get enough from, like, my vegetables that you make me eat, we won't have enough of this clotting factor stuff.
Yeah, you are totally right, son.
Wait, what is a blood clotting factor?
That's a really good question, Billy. It is a plasma protein, most often created in the liver. There are 12 different types of clotting factors, like I told you before, that work together to stop you from bleeding. Here is a picture. Normally, when there is an injury, the blood vessel will start to constrict, causing platelets to adhere to the connective tissue, the vessel wall, which is also the collagen fibers. This will create a platelet plug right here. This will create what I call a positive feedback loop, which is right here. This means that the platelets adhere to the vessel wall. Chemicals will be released, which will attract more platelets right here, which also adhere to the tear site and create a platelet plug. This will continue. This ensures homeostasis, which is a maintenance to keep the internal conditions of the extracellular fluid stable at all times. In this case, hemophilia or homeostasis would be the body no longer losing the extracellular fluids or the blood, which we don't want.
No.
Plasma proteins from the clotting cascade are then initiated, like in this picture. Clotting factor 8 right here is part of the intrinsic pathway. This part is like a domino effect. Each factor must be activated in a specific order to create the fibrin down here. This creates the fibrin mesh and at the platelet plug, which looks very similar to this. Plasma proteins then stop the bleeding, and that's the one reason why proteins are so important to your body.
So if I don't have enough, or some are defective of my clotting factor 8, that means the clotting cascade is broken and doesn't work as well. So there won't be as much fibrin to attach to that platelet plug, and I'll just keep bleeding, right?
Right, son. So what does this mean for your bleeding arm?
Well, I think it's going to take a really long time to stop bleeding.
Right. Also, during the inflammation process, one of the factors of the inflammation is the clotting in the affected tissue to ensure that the foreign organisms that are inserted through the cut stay in the designated area. If you have hemophilia, the clotting will be less effective, and therefore you would not have enough fibrin for the scaffolding and inhibit the inflammation process. Do you remember what that would look like all the time when you were a wee laddie?
Well, I remember I was always bruising like this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of the symptoms?
Yes.
Also, is hemophilia the reason why I keep getting blood transfusions when I get really injured, like the time I broke my arm? And why I keep getting injections periodically?
Right, son. Blood transfusions when you're really injured and lose a lot of blood to replace that lost blood, and injections of clotting factor number 8 to help you prevent a break in the fibrin and encourage the clotting cascade to create the appropriate amount of fibrin.
That's great, Dad, but I think I'm losing a lot of blood.
Yeah. I guess maybe we should take you to the hospital pretty quick, hey? Let's go.
Okay, let's go, Dad.